Well, thank you. Like Liz said, my name's Kyle Messner. I appreciate you guys inviting me to kind of talk about what's going on down at VMF, Dave Mooney Baseball Complex. Just a little story about the field, which I'll get into. So back in 1985, Bruce Rosenthal approached me and would ask me if I'd be interested in playing for a town team in Hutch. They had it back a few years before that, 7 years probably around there, and then they didn't have it for a big span. So then Bruce wanted to start up again, and it was called the Hutchinson Travelers. So we had to build a field and get a lot of volunteers to do that. There's a lot I can mention. I'll probably forget a lot of names. Bruce Rosenthal, Ralph Johnson, John Decker, and Chuck Milankangas. You probably know some of those guys helped, Hankies and a lot of these guys that helped build this field. So today, this is what the field looks like right now. If you can see that we don't have grass or running lanes, dirt running lanes like normal ballparks do. We had a guy down there by the name of Dave Mooney that took care of this field. He lived down there all day, all night during the summer. So he would go to Arizona in the wintertime and come back with all these ideas. And one of his ideas was 25 years ago to make that grass, to get rid of the dirt. And we were like, that's not going to work. Well, 25 years later, we still have it. The reason we do that is for maintenance. It's a lot easier just to mow that instead of always keeping that dirt nice and, you got to keep that dirt nice and level, so, all this stuff. So we just mow that now, and it's a lot better for us to maintain it. If you go to different ballparks, like this year, we have the state tournament in Brownton, Gaylord, and Glencoe. All three of those parks have grass running lanes. So the trend is going to that right now. So just a little bit, this is our new grandstand right here. Our current grandstand, like said, back in 1985, they decided to build a stadium. So we had to build dugouts and a grandstand. So that old grandstand was built in 85, 86. So you can't really see it. It had three different sections, along with the middle section that was covered. So we decided in 2020, I got laid off from HTI. So I spent my summers mowing the grass down here at BMF. So when you mow the grass, you have a lot of things to think about. And I'm like, would it be a good idea to get a new grandstand? Because we did everything else. In 2014, we put a new backstop in. We put new dugouts in. So the only thing that was missing out of that piece was a grandstand. So I met with Lee Cool, and he got a guy from a bleacher company down in, I think it was in Iowa, that came and met, and he drew up some plans. And from there, this is what we got right now. This new grandstand is all covered. The old grandstand sat about 250 people. This sits about 270. We got handrails that go up for people that walk up. This one did not. So that was the big thing, because we got a lot of elderly people like to come to the games, and you see them walk up the steps, and it's just a one trip and fall. Here it's a lot easier. We got 6 handicap spots in front. That green in the middle, those are stadium seats. We have 64 stadium seats. We just kind of wanted to break it up a little bit so that people can sit there also. And we also have, in the center, we have a press box. The old press box was down left field, to the left of the old grandstand. It's still there, and that's where we were at prior to having this press box in the center. It was nice, but you couldn't see down left field, which you had to stick your head out to see what's going on down. Here is a lot easier. So that's it right there. I'm just going to go through some slides here. When you get old, you need these too, by the way. So first of all, I'd like to thank the City of Hutchinson, the individuals, businesses, and organization that helped donate to this project. If it wasn't for those guys, this would not have been possible. You know, I went out, there's a lot of people that helped out with this project, and we're very grateful for that. This would not have been done without them, so I'm very thankful for that. This is from over here was Tartan Park. That's where we played when I was a little kid, 12 years old. They had the little dugouts, the fence back there. And then in 1985, we decided to start building a field. So this is the progress. These are some guys people working in the grandstand. Porky Anderson is there. I can't see who else. Bruce Roseno in their concession stand. So, of course, the field that we are on currently is a floodplain. You got the river. Our field has flooded probably 4 or 5 times during the years. Since they redid the dam down by the river, because there used to be floodgates, they used to open up the floodgates and water just came rushing and we're done, you know. But now since they put the rocks, all that stuff for that's helped out tremendously, and we haven't had a flood, I don't think, since. So, but this is just the progress. This is still Tartan Park. Oh, this is VMF, and this is the first game down at VMF. So just throughout the years, a lot of volunteers helping with sod. I think I probably sodded this field a couple times, picking up rocks and stuff like that. But that's part of baseball. That's what we did, you know. So down at the Huskies do a lot of things down at VMF. Throughout the year, we do a lot of activities. We have Veterans Day, where all the veterans come in for free. That's just the thing that, you know, that we appreciate all the veterans that built this field, and that's what we do. We have First Responder Day for all the EMTs, the police, the fire chief, fire department. Those guys get in for free, and they're recognized on the field. We do Books and Baseball. We've done that for the last 5 years, where kids come down in the field, and our players read to these kids on the field. And after that's all done, they run the bases. They get some hot dogs and popcorn and something to drink afterwards. And they get in for free, and their parents get in for free, and they sit and watch the game afterwards. We do Pick a Base, sponsored by Walmart and Target. What we do is we get some gift cards from these two businesses, and individual we pick out of the stands from their ticket that they get in when they come into the game, and they get a chance to win $50 if they pick the correct base that the gift card is underneath. Say they pick second base. If it's not there, next week or next home game, it goes up to $100. So we just want to get fans involved, try to get people involved down there at the game. We do Chevy Youth Night, where we have the youth kids come down and come on the field. That's sponsored by Olson Chevrolet, before it was whoever owned that dealer, Valley. So we're in close relationship with that business also. We do have KDUZ Fan Appreciation Night at the end. So Joel Niemeyer comes down and announces the game, and they do a bunch of gifts that they hand out and stuff like that. Dairy Night, we have Dairy Night where they come down, the Dairy Princess, and they throw out the first pitch, and then they give out ice cream. So, and then we have McLeod County Fair Night at the end, where, you know, they give prizes away for that too. So there's a lot of things that we do to try to keep the community involved and people involved down there, because that's what Huskies is all about. So this is the new the grandstand and some other things that we've done. So the old grandstand, and behind it was blacktop. Well, when they did the blacktop, they made it level towards the field. So what happens when it rains? All the water goes towards the field. So now the elevation has changed, so we got it going away from the field, towards the parking lot. So here's the back of the grandstand. You can't see it, but the top right is the entrance going towards from the parking lot into the field. This open area right here is landscaping. What we're going to do with that, we're going to put some turf in there. We got some turf from the Vikings TCO training camp, and we're going to put that in there. We didn't want to put grass because then you have to water it all the time. We didn't want to put any other type like wood chips or anything like that, because wood chips, when it rains, it gets washed away. So that's going to get installed in the next 2 weeks. And then we did all this new concrete path. We did the bathrooms. Now the bathrooms are ADA accessible, so which is very nice. Bathrooms are well overdue what they needed to get done. So that's a good addition there. And then this is just the pathway here. So it really looks nice down there. It's coming along. There's some few things that still need to get done, but we're getting there. So during the state tournament, we had one in 2016, and Mary Hutchinson and Dolph Moon figured out how much a state tournament brings to the city of Hutchinson. So this is their calculation. So there's 23 teams that play in Hutch in 2016. So this is what they came up with their calculation. And if you take 23 teams, or 23 games, there's 46 teams, so you have 25 players on the team that come. So there's 1,150 players come, plus, they always bring their significant other or parents, whatever. And then for food and lodging, which back in 2016 was $200. So there's 3 weekends that we play the state tournament. It's always the last 2 weekends in August, and it ends Labor Day weekend. So back in 2016, they projected that this tournament brought in $460,000. So I took my numbers for 2025, basically the same type, added $50 more because inflation. So our projection for money brought into the city of Hutchinson is $575,000. So this is big for Hutchinson, because last year, or 2 years ago in 23, the whole state tournament brought in 28,000 people through the three sites for 3 weekends. So this is going to bring in a lot of traffic to the city of Hutchinson. So,
excuse me, your numbers are just the players playing, not the fans watching.
These are right, correct. So you're going to have fans that have no association with players that just like to watch baseball. Another thing that the Huskies do, that the money that they get, that they raise, is put back into the field. They just don't keep the money. We, like in 2015, we put in a new fence, outfield fence. So the city bought it, but we gave them, how much? $15,000 to do it, I think. So whatever we do, whatever we make, goes back to the field for improvements, and that's what we like to do, because we want to make this field, looking nice. We get a lot of compliments from other people, from high school players, from high school coaches that really like our field. We have a guy named Tim Kinsler that is down there. He's now the new Dave Mooney of this baseball field, and he's down there all the time, and he's working hard. We have a great board. Rhonda's on our board, and it takes a lot of work to keep the Huskies playing on this field, getting volunteers to work at our field. So it takes a lot of work to keep this organization running. Like I said, in August of August 15th, 16th, 17th, and then the next weekend and the following weekend is the state tournament. So we will need volunteers to help out with that, because it's going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of work, but this is our 4th time having the state tournament. So there's a lot of preparation that is involved with this. So it's just a great thing for the community of Hutchinson. So any questions? Or like I said, I've been, this is my passion. I've been doing it. Like I said, I started in '85 when I was 17, and I retired at the end of the year in 23, because this is what I love. This is what I like doing, is is playing baseball and helping out kids, coaching kids and stuff like that. And
How do they decide where the tournament's going to be?
so the tournament, back 5 years ago, we had to go to the state board. So they have a state board, NBA board, consists of 8 guys. So we had to go bid for that. So we had to go in front of the board and give them our spiel and why we should have the state tournament. Huh? 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, we had to do that. Yeah, so we have to go and say, they say, why do you want the state tournament? What are you going to do? What do you have to offer? You know, and stuff like that. You know, with Hutchinson, you know, we got a great community with hotels and restaurants, and we got a great field. You know, we done some updates to it, which helped with having us get the state tournament. So, but yeah, that's a big process because a lot of people don't get it because, you know, they don't have all the necessities that they need to have it. So, but
How many people attend on average?
Huskies game? Depending on who we play, a couple hundred. Yep. And you know, we are partnership with HCVN. They broadcast our games, our home games, a lot, every home game. And if you can't make it to a game, watch it on HCVN. At first, when we thought they were going to do that, it's like, oh, is that going to take away from our fan base? Actually, we got more fan base. The reason being is because they watch it on the game, watch it on the TV, and a lot of times they don't know there's a baseball field in Hutchinson. Then all of a sudden they go down there and watch the game. It's $5 to get in, $1 for $3, $2 for senior citizens, $4 for senior citizens. It's cheap entertainment. It's fun entertainment. I mean, it's a lot of people. And another thing with the city of Hutch, in 2019 we adopted the field. The Huskies adopted the field from the city. What that means is that we take care of the field. We mow it. We get the field ready for high school games, Legion games, VFW games, Huskies games. So whatever's inside the fenced-in area, we take care of. And that's our responsibility. The city of Hutch does give us like product that we need to maintain that field, but they only give us so much. And if we need more, then that comes out of the Huskies' pocket. But we have a good relationship with the city of Hutch. They're very cooperative in what we do, and if we need help, if there's big issues that arise that we can't, you know, help fund, they're there to help us out. So that's a big thing. Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about the Husky group and like your season and stuff, what that involved.
So okay, the Huskies there's 25 players on the Huskies. The ages range from, we got some high school kids on there to 35, 36-year-olds. So we have a big range. And I think all the Huskies except for one are from Hutchinson. We have one guy, John DeRock, was from Gibbon, but he lives in Hutch for a lot of years. He's a business owner. So basically he's a Hutchinsonite. But a lot of those guys are from Hutchinson. When you go to different towns, you don't see that very often that they're from the same town. So we have a 30-mile radius where we can get other players from 30 miles out. But all our guys are from Hutchinson. They play 30, 35 games in the season. And then they have a playoff region games that are played, and then from there they get to the state tournament. In order to get to the state tournament, so there's different regions and districts, and in our district or region, there's 4 teams out of 8 that get to go to the state tournament. So let me see what else. Like I said, the Huskies, they've been around first they started out as the Travelers, and we converted to the Huskies. So basically, they're saying so they've been around since '85. It's a lot of work. Rhonda can attest to that to keep this going. And we have some great volunteers, and we have some great fan base. Throughout the years, I've known a lot of people, and that's what's good thing about playing baseball in Hutch, is you meet a lot of different people. And over the years, you lose some people, but it's just a good fan base that we have in Hutch and a good following. We go to different towns, and they're right there with us watching the game. So that's big.
What towns are in your region?
So what towns in our region? So we have Maple Lake, Maple Plain, Dassel, Cokato. I should say, Dassel and then Cokato, because they're separate. Litchfield, Loretto. Howard Lake. My wife knows more than I do. Because she's been Litchfield, yeah. And then our region, and we got like Kimball, Watkins, Cold Spring, and another team in our region. So, yeah. So back in the day, for a lot of years, there's only two classes, a B and a C. And now this year, they are three classes, an A, B, and C. So it's going to bring a lot more teams that have never been to state before to Hutchinson. And a lot of times, when you get these small towns that bring busloads of fans when they come. So there's no advance tickets for the state tournament. You have to buy them there. Yeah. So like a single session, like on a Friday night game, it's $5. And then on a Saturday or a Sunday, because there's multiple games, there's usually 4 games on a Saturday and 3 games on a Sunday. That's $10 per person. So you can sit and watch the whole game. If you want to go to Broughton or Gaylord, just keep your ticket stub. You can go over there and get in for free. So, yep. But one thing I'd like to add, like I said, I've been playing this for a lot of years, but it wouldn't be possible without that one right there. My wife, she raised our 4 kids at the baseball field, and I couldn't do it without her support, and she's always there, my number one fan. So, but
I was going to ask, you have 25 guys playing, so how dedicated do these guys have to be when they're 35 years old, they got families? How does that all work?
That's why I had an awesome wife. That it is hard because some of those players have jobs and they can't make it. And some of we have 5 high school kids that we signed, so they'll be playing Legion ball. So that brings it down to 20. And then there's guys that have jobs that can't make it. So sometimes we have 10, 11 guys at a game. So it's a big commitment, because you got weddings and you got all vacations and all that stuff. So it's a big commitment. And
When they play.
right.
Their schedule is Wednesday.
So usually they play Wednesday, Friday, Sundays.
Oh my God.
Yep. It's like tonight is an exception. Tonight they're playing in Shakopee. Usually we don't play Tuesdays. It's usually Wednesday, Friday, Sundays. So it's a big commitment. So they start, their first game was last Friday, and then their last game is July 18th. Yeah, and then that's their last regular season game. Then they got playoffs for 2 weeks. And then if they make the state tournament, that's another 3 weeks. But, like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world because my kids were raised down at the ballpark. And now this is my daughter, Amber. She's got a son that's 2 years old. And he was running at the field on Friday night and just having a ball. And you meet a lot of different families from different towns, and it's just it's great, so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.